Broads Media.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome on in to Sports Talk with Broads. The Phillies game was postponed tonight, unfortunately, due to the air, and it is wild outside. The entire sky is yellow. It smells like a bonfire. It's bizarre and reminds me of a movie where everybody's dying off and I'm left with my dog. iRobot, if you will. But man, be safe out there. All jokes aside. It's crazy. So the Phils will make up the game 6:05 p.m. Thursday night with a chance to sweep. That would be lovely. Please, please. Let's talk about the 1-0 win, though, shall we? Kyle Schwarber, leadoff bomb. In case you want to be remembered, June Kyle Schwarber is real, and leadoff Kyle Schwarber is real. Stop fighting the stupid fight. This is amazing, glorious, some would say. Kyle Schwarber is outrageous, and let the man cook. Let the man get in the box as much as humanly possible, because good things happen. Between him and Taijuan Walker, have yourself a damn day. 8 strikeouts, the split was gross. Velocity way better than the last time he went out there. Last time it was dipping massively, but there was no physical issue, said Rob Thompson postgame, said Taijuan Walker postgame. So then why? What are the answers? Stiff? Body's not right? Well, get it right. And he did, thankfully. We need him to get confidence. We need him to believe in himself. We need him to have a first half when he was in a New York Mets uniform, Taijuan Walker run here. So we could package that up with the no-hit Aaron Nola that showed up. And let's see if Zach Wheeler can hold his end of the bargain up. Craig Kimbrell, he is feeling it right now. Another guy that's got the velocity kicking. A little man bun poking out the bottom of the hat. Doesn't look as good without the snapback portion because it's a fitted. I think it's silly, but I don't care. Just mow people down, please. And what this does is it gives you some versatility with Jose Alvarado, because let Craig be Craig. The man's got 400 plus saves. He's the guy until he loses this. What you can do, though, is have leverage depending on where the opponent is with their lineup and where they're at in their batting order. If you need to look lefty, let's go Jose. If you need to go righty, let's go with Sir Anthony Dominguez. If there's a pretty big hostile spot in the 6th inning, bases are loaded, you need a big timeout, you can go to someone who's as special as Jose, one of the best relievers in baseball. You can go to him in the 6th and still feel comfortable with Craig Kimbrell. If it's the 7th, so be it. My point is, whenever the high leverage spot is, that's not the 9th inning. Let's say it comes earlier. You got a bunch of different things that you can do. I love it. Less pressure for Jose. Not that I don't think he'd be able to answer, because, quite frankly, he's probably not worried whatsoever. He could probably take the ball, if need be, in the 9th inning in a 1-run game on the road, at home, hostile environment or not. I believe in Jose, but it makes the transition back easier. Even if it's a 0.5% pressure off, if it's earlier than the 9th inning, then fine. It is what it is, but it's still better. I think he can ease back into the flow. The game could have been more than 1-0, though. Let's be honest. The wind was crazy. There were a few warning track balls that probably fly out of here if it's any other night. If it's a hot summer day and the wind wasn't swirling in the direction that it was. And that's why I'm not too worried about the Trey Turner thing, because Trey Turner was one of those flyouts. Squared up the ball fine. It is what it is. I'm not going to complain. I would like to see a few nights where it's multi-hit, string it together and be the consistent 300, Trey. after 4 for 5 and really should have been 5 for 5. I wanted to see, even if it was 2 singles, I would have been totally pumped and stoked with 2 singles. Because I saw one at-bat, though, that I really could see being a home run 92% of the time. Well, let's just say, hypothetically, you close your eyes and pretend that went over the wall because he put a swing together that normally would be. I would have been cool with that if that was on his box score. So I'll pump the brakes. I'm still jumping at the bit here just because I'm waiting. I want to see that impact. He needs to dig in and start letting this thing roll out of control. Catch fire. I think it's time, no? It's been time. But let's see it. It would be solid to take all 3 from Detroit. They look terrible, don't they? They look like such a non-competitive team. A group of guys that don't really care to fight for one another. That don't feel that passion and adrenaline to be out there on the diamond. They swing at hot trash. They look like Nick Castellanos all of last year, 1 through 9, basically. You could point out a couple defensive plays that were nice. That's not going to cut it, though. They stink. They have no life to them. Slow as molasses out there on the field. I thought that was going to flow way cooler in a sentence. I don't even think I used that properly. They're not slow as molasses. They look lethargic. That's actually what I was trying to say. They look lethargic. Somehow slow as molasses came out. I guess that's what happens on a night where there's no Philly sports and I'm completely lost. Yes, the NBA Finals are on. Yes, I'm recording this during halftime, so I'm not going to miss anything. It's just weird. And it was so unplanned. If you know what Thursday's coming up, where the Phillies have an off day, you kind of are prepared as the days fly by. You know what you have to do after work. You know what you have to do the night of. Come home from work, put the game on, get ready, eat dinner, absorb the info, get some notes together, bang, go into the studio in the basement and hit the record button. But when you get thrown this randomness at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and the way that it happened was kind of odd, no? Let's look at it. Rob Thompson gets interviewed around 3:51. The beat reporters are tweeting that Rob said, yeah, we're playing today. Oh, yeah, we're playing. And we see all the pictures up in New York, and you see how yellow the sky is. All right, if Rob's saying they're playing, they're playing. Yet the league met at 4 o'clock. So what in the world is Rob doing giving out information like that? So, we're playing this game. Sound like there was determination in it. And then a few minutes later, the league is scheduled to meet. And the game gets postponed not too far after. You'd think somehow the league and Rob would be on the same page, no? Hey, I'm not really too sure. I know some of the important people are getting together and speaking about things, and we'll be notified soon. And then we'll get the updates. Unless that was the Rob Thompson factor on keeping the team involved. We're going to act accordingly. We're going to act like we're playing. Hey, maybe that's it. And I just stumbled upon that. But that would be awesome, no? My manager with the team that's underperforming, they're under 500. They're trying to get back to that 500 number so they can go on a surge. Doesn't matter that it's the Detroit Tigers. That means you got to focus even more. You have to beat the bad opponents. That's why last year happened. You beat the Nationals, you beat the Marlins, you beat the teams, specifically the Marlins, that would destroy you under the Gabe Kapler regime. When you started out way over 500 and then plummeted month by month by month until we got an epic collapse each and every fall. You know what's going to happen. It's the lather, rinse, repeat. I'd bet my mortgage, 6 months of my mortgage, the whole damn savings account. You want the 401k? You want the CDs that are open? Take it all. Put the whole entire bank on it. It's a lock. I don't even know what I'm even talking about with I've honestly spewed so much crap that I'm not even making this up. I don't even remember what I said was a lock. And I'm trying to remember it right now. This is actually pathetic. Seriously, I have no idea what I'm even talking about right now. I lost my train of thought. So anyway, with that, let's transition into, I don't know, I guess there's really not that much more. June Kyle Schwarber happened to arrive when June Kyle Schwarber always arrives. Bryce Harper showed a lot of emotion in the dugout, throwing his helmet, pissed off, not happy. Man, this guy, I swear, I know when you normally say don't take it for granted and absorb what you're watching, make sure you're enjoying this because it's special. He is a ridiculous star in this league. Just embrace it. And when you do that, you normally soak it in. And there's a time where you reflect and you recognize you're watching greatness. That still sometimes doesn't describe perfectly how special Bryce Harper is. I'm in awe. We're how many years in? After postseason moment after postseason moment, heroics. After winning an MVP, I'm still in disbelief. I'm still stunned. Just goes to show. And that's why, we keep looking at this roster knowing that there's a higher ceiling than under 500 ball. And it stems from that type of reaction. A game against the Tigers. Plenty of game left. Angry. Mad. Not the Mets. I guess you can take this negatively, though. And Bryce is by far nowhere even close to the problem. Now, you know what? I don't even think this is important. This is one of the ones that's a reach, and I know it's a reach before I even ask the question. Sometimes it's just intrigue. Sometimes it's just a conversation piece, and there's not too much substance with it, but you just flirt it in there to see if it catches anyone's attention. Hey, look, someone referenced back to it in the comments. Hey, I knew it was a kind of ridiculous and on the outlier, but let's throw this perspective out there. I don't even know if I want to do that here. Because you might say, Broads, you lost your mind. Which, you could make the argument happened 5 years ago. Maybe you could say you never had a mind. I don't know. There's a lot of people who think I'm dumb. I disagree. I don't think those people are really intelligent. But who am I to judge? I'm just a guy with a microphone in his studio who screams every night. While my wife is upstairs sleeping, and the dogs are right there too. Sometimes if I get loud enough, I can hear them jump off the bed and start running towards the basement door. Why you needed that information? I don't think you did. Here's the information you do need, though. Looks like the Phillies flipped the page. I was down after Washington. Not down. I wasn't as hype after Washington because it was Washington. And basically, the Detroit Tigers are not much worse. In fact, I do think they look worse in these two games. I don't know if they're going to eventually be worse. I don't really care, quite frankly. They're in the same tier. So if I'm not as hype against Washington, if this team is in the same tier as Washington, why would I feel any differently now? It was more just about sustainability. The offense, the starting pitching. We're getting the best starting pitching we've seen from our top rotation pieces. Let's see Wheeler add to this. But Taijuan, he looked really sharp. That's what Taijuan Walker is when he's in control. He just has a hard time finding control. That seems problematic, doesn't it? But I just see something in the way the games are playing out, and I see something in the back end of the bullpen. I think there's something going with this starting pitching. Part of this also, and it's terrible to admit it just because it kind of feels like you're punting some games early on. This was all part of their plan. Doesn't mean I have to like it. Doesn't mean it makes it easier to watch. They punted early on because they watched how it defeated them late. And because they went so late, I sound like a broken record. It's just part of the story, though. They realized, and I'm sure they didn't expect it to be this bad, and it helps that some of the National League is stuck. The Mets, I'm telling you, the Mets, not very good. Just want to make sure I flirt that into every show we do because I hate them. They're the worst. They piss me off. Actually, now that I say the Mets, I'm pretty sure Pete Alonso got dinged up. I never want to see anybody get injured. He's been smashing baseballs pretty damn heavily. Got hit by a pitch. I don't know what his current status is, though. I definitely don't want to see that. But they got swept against Toronto, and that series was in Queens. And then they lost Game 1 to the Braves, and they're losing, at the time of this recording, Game 2 against the Braves, 7-5 in the bottom of the 8th, with a man on second base for Matt Olson. The National League isn't a juggernaut. The National League East and the National League. The Marlins are 35-28 with a minus 24 run differential. Whew. The Mets are now under 500. Mets fans try coming after me. Oh, you're just a hater saying that they're not good after they beat you in a series. No, I tried warning you. I was super down on the Phils. I wasn't trying to say anything positively about the Phillies when I was raining on the parade of the Mets. The Mets could be awful and the Phillies be worse than the Mets. That is very possible, unfortunately. This is the second time I lost my train of thought. Whoa, what do you want me to do? 20 minutes in, I lose my train of thought twice. Whatever, it was a 1-0 game. How the hell I got the 20 minutes anyway, I guess is remarkable in its own right. Anyway, all right. I need to go to bed. Finish the NBA Finals. Then go to bed. I'm sorry for whatever this ending is. And I'm sorry for the loss of whatever's in this area of my body. All right, goodbye. I'm done.